Daniel didn't discover his marriage was falling apart because of cheating. There was no suspicious movements, no late-night texts, no suspicious calls, just a hospital bill for a child he had never seen, never heard of, and definitely did not have. And when he asked his wife about it, she looked him in the eyes and lied. Again. Now imagine this: 4 years of marriage, 4 years of praying together every night, only to realize you might have been praying with the person betraying you. And wow, this is where everything changed. Daniel Brooks was the kind of man people described as dependable. 36 years, a great financial consultant, calm voice, steady habits, the kind of husband who remembered anniversaries, changed light bulbs before being asked, and believed marriage was not just love, but duty. He lived in Chicago with his wife, Naomi. Naomi Brooks was 33, soft-spoken, elegant, the kind of woman who made strangers trust her within 5 minutes. She worked part-time as a nonprofit coordinator, sang in church on Sundays. People called them that solid couple. You know the type, the ones everyone points to and says, "I want a marriage like theirs." Even Daniel believed that, especially because every single night before sleep, Naomi would reach for his hand and say, "Let's pray." And they would, for peace, for family, for children they hoped to have, for favor, for protection. Imagine that, praying with the person quietly lying to you. That kind of irony should be illegal, but life doesn't ask permission. It just happens. The trouble began small. It always does. Not with thunder, with whispers. One Thursday evening, Daniel came home early. Naomi was in the kitchen, but the moment she heard the door, she panicked. Actually panicked. Her phone slipped from her hand and hit the counter. Her face changed, just for a second, but Daniel saw it. That tiny flash of fear. And once you see fear, you cannot unsee it. "You're home early," she said. Too fast. He smiled. "Meeting got canceled." She laughed lightly, too lightly. "You scared me." He kissed her, but his mind stayed there. Why scared? Why not happy? Why fear? That night, during prayer, her voice trembled. "Lord, protect this home." Daniel opened his eyes. She was crying. "What's wrong?" he asked softly. "Nothing," she whispered. "Just tired." Nothing. That dangerous little word. Nothing has buried more marriages than betrayal itself. Over the next few weeks, Daniel noticed patterns. Naomi became too protective of her phone. She started making quick errands that lasted hours. Their savings account looked strange. Nothing dramatic, just little transfers. 300 here, 500 there. 700 gone, labeled family support. At first, he told himself not to become that suspicious husband. Trust matters. Marriage needs room to breathe. But trust without honesty becomes self-deception, and deep down, he knew something was wrong. One Saturday morning, while Naomi shammered, Daniel sat at the dining table taking his morning coffee and decided to check their bank app. He stared, transfer after transfer. Different dates, same receiving account, no name attached, just initials. LM. His chest tightened. He waited. When she came downstairs, he asked casually, "Who's LM?" She froze. Not dramatically, but enough. Just someone from church, charity situation. "Charity?" he asked. Yes, temporary, she replied quickly. Daniel nodded slowly. How temporary? She picked up the laundry basket. Daniel, not everything needs investigation, and walked away. That answer was gasoline. Because honest people explain, liars defend. And wow, he felt that. His best friend, Marcus, noticed first. Marcus was the opposite of Daniel. Loud, funny, unfiltered. The kind of man who could tell you your life was collapsing while ordering fries. They sat at a sports bar downtown. Daniel told him everything. Marcus leaned back. Bro, that reply is dangerous. Bro, listen to me carefully. People don't get defensive over charity. Daniel sighed. Do you think she's cheating? Marcus shrugged. I think secrets are expensive, and somebody's paying. Ouch. That line sat in Daniel's chest all night. Somebody's paying. And apparently, it was him. The real crack came 3 weeks later. Naomi left her tote bag in Daniel's car. He was bringing it inside when a folded paper slipped out. He almost ignored it. Almost. But life changes in almost. He unfolded it. Pediatric hospital invoice. Patient name, Elijah Monroe. Age, 6. Emergency respiratory treatment. Balance paid. Paid by Naomi Brooks. Daniel stared so long the words stopped looking like words. Elijah, 6 years old. Monroe, LM. No way. Seriously? His hands shook. He walked inside holding the paper like it might explode. Naomi was setting the table. He placed it in front of her. Silence. Heavy. Terrible. What is this? She looked at it. Then at him, and smiled. A small, nervous smile. I told you it's charity. Daniel laughed. Not because it was funny, because pain sometimes exits as laughter. Charity, Naomi? Whose child is this? He's not ours. Then why are you paying hospital bills? Why do you care so much about this child, and why are you not letting me know everything about the so-called charity you're doing?
Daniel, it's complicated, Naomi said softly. Whose child is he? Your? He's not mine, she answered sharply. Someone needed help. Who? Silence. Who, Naomi? Finally, she said it. Lucas. Daniel blinked. Who is Lucas? And that question cracked the floor beneath everything. Lucas Monroe, 40, Naomi's ex from before Daniel. The man she once thought she would marry, the man who went broke suddenly. The man she claimed was just part of the past. Apparently, the past had a bank account. Naomi sat there and told the story in fragments. Lucas had reappeared 2 years ago. Struggling. A son to raise, business failing, health issues, no family support. He reached out because he had no one, she said. Daniel stared. And your husband did not qualify as someone who should know? He just needed help, that's all. Daniel's voice rose. No, you were hiding him. She slammed her hand on the table. Because I knew you'd react like this. Like what? Like a husband? Her eyes filled. I was helping someone survive. With our money. He has a child, Daniel. And I have a wife. Silence. Sharp enough to bleed. Tell me honestly, would you forgive that? Because wow, Daniel couldn't even process the shape of the betrayal. It wasn't just money. It was intimacy, access, protection, emotional loyalty, things marriage is built on, and she had handed them elsewhere. That night, they didn't pray. For the first time, they slept facing opposite walls. No touch, no peace, just distance. At midnight, Daniel stared at the ceiling and asked himself the question people hate most. Was I ever enough? Because betrayal always whispers that, even when it shouldn't, even when the lie belongs to them, it still wounds you. The next morning, Naomi was gone. Just a note. I need space. Please don't call yet. Daniel read it 3 times. Then his phone rang. Daniel stared at his phone. Unknown number. He answered. A man's voice. Calm. Tired. Daniel? My name is Lucas. Silence. Then the words that would change everything. I think we need to talk about Naomi. Lucas's voice was calmer than Daniel expected. That somehow made it worse. Not defensive, not nervous, just tired. Like a man who had been carrying something too heavy for too long. Daniel, he said again, I know I'm probably the last person you want to hear from. Daniel's jaw tightened. You're right. A pause. Then Lucas exhaled. I'm not calling to fight you. I'm calling because this has gone too far, and Naomi refuses to let it collapse the way it should. Daniel laughed once, cold. Collapse? You mean my marriage? No, Lucas said quietly. I mean her guilt. That sentence landed strangely. Because wow, Daniel expected arrogance, not sadness, not guilt, not this. He walked to the living room slowly, like if he moved too fast, the truth might shatter in pieces too sharp to survive. Start talking. And Lucas did. Lucas Monroe had once been the love Naomi never recovered from. Before Daniel, before the wedding, before the polished church smiles and anniversary photos. There had been Lucas, young, ambitious, wild in the way men are when they think love alone can pay rent. They had planned a future until life interrupted. Lucas's father got sick, money disappeared, responsibilities multiplied. And Lucas, in all his immature pride, chose distance instead of honesty. He left, not because he stopped loving her, because he thought failing in front of her would hurt more than disappearing. Stupid.
Absolutely. But heartbreak is full of people making intelligent mistakes emotionally. Naomi moved on. She met Daniel. Daniel was stability, safety, peace. The kind of love that feels like home instead of fireworks. She married him. And for years, she tried to bury the part of herself that still had questions. Then, 2 years ago, Lucas reached out. Not to rekindle anything, at least that's what he claimed. He was divorced. His ex-wife had left. Their son, Elijah, had severe asthma. Medical bills were swallowing him alive. His small contracting business was collapsing. He was drowning. And in one desperate moment, he texted Naomi. Not because he wanted romance, because shame makes people call old ghosts. And Naomi answered. That was the beginning. And beginnings are dangerous. Daniel listened in silence. His hands were fists. So my wife became your secret sponsor? Lucas took the hit. I asked for help once. She kept helping after. How generous. You can hate me, you probably should, but I need you to understand something. Daniel snapped. No, I don't need to understand anything. My wife lied to my face for 2 years while funding your life. She wasn't funding my life. She paid your son's hospital bills, Daniel said sharply. Yes, but because he couldn't breathe. The silence after that, heavy, ugly, human. Daniel closed his eyes, because this is where things get messy, not when the villain is obvious, but when pain has innocent people standing inside it. A sick child, a struggling father, a wife carrying old guilt, and a husband left looking like the final obstacle to compassion. Tell me honestly, was Daniel overreacting? Because wow, this wasn't simple anymore. It would have been easier if Lucas was just a monster, but he sounded like a man trying not to drown. And that made forgiveness harder, not easier. There's something else, Lucas said. Of course there was. There's always something else. Daniel sat down slowly. Say it. A long pause. Then, she didn't tell you why she really kept helping. Daniel's stomach dropped. Lucas continued. Years ago, before she married you, Naomi got pregnant. Silence. The kind that changes your heartbeat. No. Daniel said it instantly, sharp, refusing. She never told you because she was ashamed. She thought it made her broken. By the time she met you, she wanted that whole chapter dead. Daniel felt like the walls moved. Naomi, pregnant before him, with Lucas. A child she lost, a grief she buried. A ghost inside their marriage he never even knew existed. OMG, this was no longer about money. This was grief, old love, buried shame, and secrets that had been living in the walls. Lucas's voice cracked for the first time. When Elijah got sick, I think she saw the child we lost. I think helping him made her feel like she was saving something she couldn't save before. Daniel sat back down, speechless, because wow, that changes everything. But it doesn't erase betrayal, and that's the cruel part. Understanding pain does not cancel damage. That evening, Naomi came home. Not dramatically, quietly, like someone returning to the scene of a fire. Daniel sitting in the living room. Just silence. She saw his face and knew. You spoke to him. Not a question, a fact. Daniel nodded. I wanted to tell you, she said softly. He looked at her. No, you wanted to avoid losing me. That one hit. She sat across from him. For a long time, neither spoke. Then Daniel asked the question that mattered most. Did you love him? Naomi whispered. Yes. He nodded once. Do you still? Tears. Immediate. Honest. Complicated. I love you. That wasn't my question. She broke. Actually broke. I don't know what parts of me still belong to old grief, and what parts are just guilt, and what parts are love. I don't know anymore. Ouch. That truth was brutal because it was real. Not clean, not convenient, just real. Daniel stood. Every night you prayed with me. Yes. You asked God to protect our marriage while lying inside it.
She cried harder. I hated myself for that. And yet you kept doing it. I know. Why? And finally, the ugliest truth arrived. Because I was afraid if I stopped helping him, I would be proving I was the kind of person who abandons people when life gets ugly, the same way he abandoned me. Silence. Deep. Painful. Human. She looked at him. I wasn't trying to choose another man over my husband. I was trying to fix a wound I never admitted existed. And you used my trust to do it. She whispered, yes. No defense, no excuse, just truth. Sometimes that hurts more. The next week was war. Quiet war. Counseling sessions, separate bedrooms, family questions, church whispers. Marcus nearly exploded when he heard everything. You're considering staying? Daniel rubbed his face. I'm considering reality. Reality? Bro, she financed her ex. She financed a sick child, too. She lied. Yes. Marcus stopped, softened, then said the thing friends say when they love you enough to risk offending you. Don't confuse compassion with self-destruction. Wow, that one stayed. Because seriously, how do you know the difference? When does grace become permission? When does forgiveness become disrespect to yourself? Those questions don't have easy answers, only expensive ones. Counseling cracked more truths open. Naomi admitted she had been sending money almost every month, sometimes secretly meeting Lucas just to check on Elijah. Never romantic, she insisted, never physical. But emotional? Yes. And sometimes emotional betrayal cuts deeper because nobody can point at it cleanly. Daniel asked during one session, "Did you ever imagine leaving me for him?" Naomi answered immediately, "No." Then, after a pause, "But I imagined a world where I had told the truth earlier, and maybe we all didn't become strangers." Even the therapist went quiet, because wow, that was honest, and honesty arrives late far too often. Then came the final blow. One Sunday after church, Daniel saw Elijah for the first time. Small, thin. Elijah smiled at Naomi and ran to hug her, naturally, comfortably, like she had been there many times. Daniel stood frozen. There it was, proof, not of romance, of emotional history. And somehow that hurt deeper, because she had built a life there too, just hidden. Marcus later asked, "So what now?" Daniel stared out the window. "I think the worst part is, I believe she loves me." Marcus frowned. "That's the worst part?" "Yes, because if she didn't, leaving would be easy." 3 months later, Daniel made his decision. He asked Naomi to meet him at the church where they got married. Same building, different people. She arrived nervous. He was already there, standing near the altar. That symbolism, brutal. She walked closer. "Daniel." He looked at her for a long time, then said quietly, "I spent months trying to decide whether betrayal means love ended, or whether sometimes people destroy what they love because they never healed themselves first." She cried silently. He continued, "I believe you love me. I also believe you broke something sacred." She nodded. "I know. I cannot stay married to secrets, even healed ones." Her breath caught. There it was, the sentence, the ending. He wasn't shouting. That made it worse. Just calm, final. I filed for divorce. Naomi closed her eyes, like she had been expecting it, like grief had already moved in weeks ago. She whispered, "I deserved that." Daniel shook his head. "No, this isn't punishment, it's consequence. I will probably love you for a long time, maybe forever. But love and staying are not always the same thing." Wow. Tell me honestly, would you stay or would you walk away? Because this part breaks people. Naomi nodded slowly. "I kept trying to save an old wound and ended up creating a new one. Yes, I am sorry. I know. And I did love us." Daniel smiled sadly. "I know that too." No screaming, no dramatic slap, just two people standing in the ruins of something they both helped break. Honestly, sometimes that hurts more than chaos, because silence leaves nowhere to hide. Months later, life looked different, smaller, quieter, cleaner. Daniel moved into a new apartment, started therapy, started sleeping again, sometimes. Naomi took a full-time role at a community center. She stopped sending secret money, not because she stopped caring, because boundaries finally arrived. Lucas rebuilt slowly. He got help elsewhere, less shame, more honesty. Elijah got healthier, and life, stubborn as ever, continued. One evening, Daniel got a message from Naomi. Just 3 words. "Thank you anyway." He stared at it for a long time, then replied, "For what?" Her answer came minutes later. "For loving me honestly." He sat there in silence, and for the first time, it didn't feel like losing, it felt like surviving. Bittersweet, but real. And sometimes, real is the closest thing we get to peace. If you've ever been betrayed by someone you trusted, comment "healing" below. And tell me honestly, would you have stayed or would you have walked away? Because wow, some love stories do not end with forever. They end with truth. And sometimes that has to be enough.